In the Gotham criminal justice system, the people are represented by three separate yet equally important groups. The police, who investigate the crime, the district attorneys, who prosecute the offenders, and the Batman. These are their stories.
Two guns, bitch! Time to die.
Fate is a funny thing. We all like to pretend there's some method to the madness, that we are in control. But the truth is, we've all got an even chance of winning or losing. We're all just a coin flip away from ruin, and no one knows this better than Harvey Dent. Harvey was a good man once, until the madness that infects Gotham City punished him for trying to do good, transforming one of its greatest champions into one of its vilest villains. Heroes turn villain, friends turn foe, and the Batman comes face to face with one of his greatest failures. Harvey Two-Face Dent, good and evil, two sides of the same coin. But he wasn't always the bisected psychopath Gotham fears today. Batman Annual 14 gives us a look at Harvey before the Harvey. We find Harvey in the midst of a nightmare about his abusive dad. They've never been close, and Harvey's recent attempt to reconnect has reminded him why. It's funny, but Harvey would actually envy Bruce Wayne in the dad department. He's awoken in cold sweat, and he's reassured by his loving wife, Gilda. But the pain his father inflicted isn't so easily soothed. Harvey can't focus on her words. He's preoccupied with the final gift his dad gave him, a double-headed dollar. Unlike Mr. Dent, crime never sleeps, and so neither does the Batman. He's investigating a serial murder of senior citizens, and he might have a lead on the site of the senior slasher's next attack. Despite Alfred warning that Batman smells bad, the Dark Knight strikes. They don't call him the world's greatest detective for nout. Batman seems to be dead on the money, while the latest victim is just dead. It's weird, dude. The fella strips off to stab people's grannies. What kind of villain we dealing with here? He bloody loves it, mate. The slasher, Dr. Rudolph Klemper, takes pleasure in admitting his crimes to the Batman's face. The smug Slayer wants the hero to know of his crimes. He doesn't even try to fight Batman, so naturally, Batman's never wanted to punch anyone harder. Batman admits he wants to kill this bastard, but he keeps his cool. As GCPD Captain Gordon arrives at the scene, he's not commissioner yet. Oh, and all of a sudden, now that there's official representatives of the law present, the Doctor claims innocence. He wants to play a game with Batman here, but the Dark Knight is all work. His job here is done, so he vanishes into the shadows. The other officers with Jim are scarred by what they've seen, but legally, they can only book the Doc under suspicion. Batman begs Gordon, and though Jim knows this crafty man did this evil deed, he's not so sure justice will be served. 6 long months pass before Klemper's trial, and though the district attorney Harvey Dent tries his hardest to put the senior slayer and sicko away, the evidence is insufficient. The Doctor was too clever. Both Batman and Captain Gordon are livid, but Jim seems more comfortable in this defeat, and the reason for that is this happens all the bloody time. The courts rarely manage to convict the criminals the Batman brings them. Being apprehended by the vigilante leaves too many unanswered questions, too much possibility of foul play. They can't keep these crooks in jail, yet both Gordon and Batman refuse to finish the scum off for good. If only there was a better way. The next day, the deadly Dr. Rudolph Klemper is found not guilty. The courtroom, full of his victim's family, burst into a riot that DA Dent barely escapes. And he runs right into an unscheduled appointment with the Doctor. He's got away with it, and Harvey needs to know how. Luckily, the Doc wants to wallow in his victory, and he reveals that he's secretly 2 people. Not literally. He's more a kind of super bipolar. 2 identities live in his brain, and while the one he calls Rudy committed these awful killings, the identity of the Doctor remained innocent. Rudolph senses the same evil potential within Harvey, though he pushes it deep down, but the doc recommends Dent cut loose. And Harvey follows the doctor's orders. Rudolph got away in court, but he won't escape Harvey's justice. While Harvey seems to get away with the vigilante murder, his career doesn't. City Hall wants nothing to do with Dent after the debacle of the Klemper case. But one man might still have use for him. Harvey meets with Jim atop a Gotham rooftop, a conference that will change Gotham justice forever. When the Batman himself joins the duo, we learn just what Captain Gordon has planned. A team-up of Gotham's finest, her two knights working as a unit to ensure justice is done. All the Batman has to do is loop in Dent when he's about to bust heads, and Harvey can make sure they've got enough evidence to keep the criminals in jail. And you know what, mate? They smash it. In only a month, 87 cases are closed for good, including the arrest of Boss Maroni, Gotham's most volatile crime boss since the fall of Falcone. Looks like Gotham's first dynamic duo are a smash hit. But the job isn't easy, especially when you're working with someone as secretly unstable as Harvey. One criminal, known as Mad Dog Pike, slips through thanks to Harvey's assistants screwing up, and despite the Batman's protests, Dent wants to plant evidence and get him busted again. When Batman refuses to frame Pike, Harvey offers an alternative. Straight up kill him. The cracks are starting to show in both this partnership and Harvey's mental state. You don't need to be the world's greatest detective to see Dent is losing it. Mate, I love Batman, but he's a bit of a grass. He goes running right to Gordon to tell on Harvey. These two we know work together well, so whatever's hanging over Harvey will surely be sorted now that Gordon's in on it. The source of Harvey's hardships is revealed in his nightmares, where we learn of a game he played with his dad, where a coin flip would determine whether Harvey gets beaten or not. Bear in mind, the coin is double-headed, so the outcome was always the same. Even as a boy, the coin decided his fate. Despite Gilda's worries, Harvey returns to the office, somewhere he says is safe. But he means somewhere where he's safe to go berserk. His red-hot anger is boiling just under the surface, and luckily, Boss Maroni, who Harvey is striving to jail for life, gives him an outlet by sending Mad Dog Pike to do Harvey in. This scum escaped Gotham's justice, but just like the Doctor, he won't escape Harvey's. Maroni learns of Pike's failure by Harvey's assistant, Mr. Fields. This little worm is in the crime boss's pocket, and when he tells Maroni that Dent's case is bulletproof, Maroni realizes that Dent himself isn't. A gun would never get into the courtroom undetected, but if Maroni's going down, he wants some way to take Harvey with him. The next day at the trial, Harvey's a bit preoccupied daydreaming about cleansing Gotham of evil, personally. But when Maroni himself takes the stand, Harvey gets serious. A disguised Batman watches from the gallery, but he's more focused on Dent than Maroni, sensing the darkness looming deep inside Harvey. But it's a darkness that's about to come to the surface. Maroni admits to being guilty, then splashes Harvey right in the face with acid concealed in a medicine bottle. The guards blast Maroni's ass away before he can hurt anyone else, but the damage to Dent is already done. 2 full weeks pass. Harvey's recovery is slow, and his assistant gets his job as Gotham's district attorney in his place. Gilda visits her husband in hospital, and for some reason, she delivers Harvey the coin that's been giving him nightmares. I'm sure that'll cheer him up in the hospital, Gil. Good wife. Now, I'm not really blaming Gilda, but something within Harvey snaps in two. He can't reconcile the good man he is with the burning rage within. Now his face matches his psyche. He can't hide the ugly any longer. A visitor in the night. The Batman tells Dent of his latest case. Harvey's assistant, new district attorney Fields, got Maroni that acid. Harvey flips a coin to decide what to do, and it comes up that they should take Fields down legally. One last ride for the dynamic duo. Or is that just what he wants Batman to think? Harvey escapes the hospital and tracks down Fields at the mayor's house, getting groomed to run for office permanently. Dent doesn't like that, there's no two ways about it. Before Two-Face can kill Fields, the lecherous lawyer reveals his trump card. He's been amassing evidence on his criminal cohorts, enough to rule half of Gotham's underworld. He offers this to Dent in exchange for his life, and Harvey tests his luck. And it's still going good, because even though Batman strikes, Dent takes down his ex-partner and kills Fields, stealing all the evidence for himself. But it's not a clean getaway. Dent drops his two-headed coin in the scuffle and has to leave it behind when Gordon and his cops storm the building. Dent is in the wind and Gordon's got grim news. His investigation into Harvey's past paints an ugly portrait of the man they thought they knew. Their only lead is the coin. Batman has seen Dent flip it to make decisions and he already suspects it's more than it seems. Gilda reveals Harvey's past with his father, the importance of the coin. And it lights the bulb above Batman's head. He knows where Harvey's going. Straight back to Dad. He's gonna make his father pay for turning him into this monster, for raising the beast that Harvey has kept hidden for years. If the coin comes up right. They're gonna play their little coin game one more time, and as the Batman catches up, the coin comes up good for Dent's dad. Fate has been decided. Harvey Two-Face surrenders. But the darkness that's been unleashed inside him won't lose face so easily. So that's the origin of Two-Face. It's been revisited a few times since this. Most famously in The Long Halloween, and I think that probably did a bit better honestly. That had the trio of Batman, Harvey and Gordon fighting the mob, while supervillains rose to power. And it made me think Harvey might actually be a good man, while here, I always felt like Harvey was just pretending to be good from the start. I wasn't a big fan of how this random criminal we've never heard of was such a trigger for Harvey. I think the cartoon did it better with him always bubbling with anger just under the surface and big bad Harv, mate. Now we've witnessed his origin, let's see Two-Face at the height of his criminal career. Batman 313. Two for the money. Love titles like this. The binary launch codes for a missile defense system have been stolen. This man, known as Specs, himself one of the guilty thieves, tries to grass up the mastermind, fearing that this crime is a step too far. Harvey Two-Face Dent doubles down. What's interesting about Harvey is that unlike justice in Gotham, he's fair. Everyone, even this backstabbing rat who's hidden half of the code, gets a 50-50 chance. Shame though, his luck has run out. 2 shots, 1 kill. Elsewhere in Gotham, it's the 2nd annual children's charity telethon, and there's still time to donate. You've got a few hours until this huge piggy bank. Oh, I bet you the codes are in the piggy bank. Oh, and there's Bruce Wayne, I'm sure he'll play a part in this soon enough. Look at this bit. I hope Selina doesn't realise I'm Batman. Sees the bat signal. Selina, I have to go, don't be suspicious. Batman arrives at Specs' crime scene and instantly sees the pattern. World's greatest detective, lads. Binary mission codes. 2 bullets. He already knows who did this. And they've done that goofy henchman naming thing I love. The names are relevant to the villain. Twain and Deuce back up the XDA when the Batman finds Dent guilty. Batman must read his own comics because he knows every trope. He's tracked Two-Face down to apartment 222 on 2nd Street. He's speedrunning his own story. Well, maybe he should slow down a bit, because Batman nearly takes a blade until a new face enters the fight. But the confusion gives Harvey and friends the chance they need to escape. Who is this strange new interloper? They call him King Faraday, a special agent tasked with recovering the binary launch codes. He demands Batman leave this to the feds, but Batman can't. He owes it to the man Dent once was to stop him now. Like it or not, they're working together, and Batman just might have an idea of where Harvey ran off to. Gotham's big piggy bank is emptied by the half and half hoodlum himself. He doesn't give half a crap about the children's charity. but I know someone who does. The Batman and his faithful sidekick, King Faraday, catch up to the Two-Face bandits. And did you know the Batmobile has laser beams? I didn't. I do now. The binary code was inside the pig and all, but the issue didn't do a good job of showing us that. It just tells us here that yes, it was indeed in the pig. Batman chases Dent's tail, but Harvey uses his head and boots the Batman off the building. There's still one chance though. Faraday aims his gun, ready to cut Dent down. But the Batman, remembering who Harvey used to be, saves the master criminal's life. But was it at the cost of America's safety? Issue 314 should help us make heads or tails of this double cross. You can take the man out of Gotham, but you can't take Gotham out of the man. The freaking Bat scans New Orleans for the double-headed horror of Two-Face. He's ran here after escaping with the codes. Harvey's evil half must love to party. Lucky for Batman, it's not just Gotham criminals who fear him. He leans on this punk who spills his guts real easy. Inside an old ferry boat turned restaurant, we find the, as the book keeps calling him, Jekyll Hyde hoodlum known as Two-Face. He's set up an auction for the codes between the US of A and Russia. How topical. Only he won't let either party bid higher than $22 million. Harvey's minted anyway, so he's going to decide who gets the codes the only way he knows how. A flip of the coin, tonight, at a secret meeting place. This is defo a double cross, isn't it? The heroes track down Harv, but ironically the issue doubles up with what happened last time. Batman and Faraday trip over each other, allowing Dent the opportunity to escape. But he's not happy just getting away. It's time Two-Face removed these thorns from his side. Hidden laser cannons blast the heroes, but Batman works double time to destroy them. The lasers seek heat, and our boy the Caped Crusader has a utility belt with a tool for every occasion. A bat capsule of white phosphorus burst into flames, drawing the beam's attention. I expected the concentrated lasers to burn a door out of the trap for them both, but instead the staff of the boat restaurant swoop in and save them. That makes sense, I suppose. Free from Batman's interference, Two-Face conducts the coin flip to determine who gets the codes, and the cheeky bastard, mate, he catches his coin on its side, says that means he wins, takes all the money, and runs off in a flying chair. No way, mate, I love comics. Truly this was a double cross. And how do the heroes find him? They literally see him flying off, laughing to himself. What a detective, mate. Batman just looked up and went, there he is. Two-Face had an escape blimp all set up, ready to go. And Batman thinks Two-Face is awesome, mate. Look here. He even pulls off his escapes in style. Batman and Faraday get on board, and it's finally time to come face to face with Two-Face. Play that 60s Batman music. We've got a fight on our hands. Harvey actually gets the upper hand, but Batman uses Dent's psychosis against him and requests a coin flip. The flip is interrupted by a bullet. Faraday stops Harvey's quirky coin toss and sends the two-headed dollar overboard, driving Dent to further madness. Harvey leaps after his coin and to certain death. Or does he? Batman, issue 328, and some cocky bastard has sent the Dark Knight detective a challenge. A man named Anton Carousel has been killed not only once, but twice. How? And why does the killer want the Batman to know of his guilt, despite being found innocent at trial? Is he trying to prove a point that legal justice doesn't work? Or is he baiting the Batman into a trap? Carl Turnian is the name, and even the coroner's report backs up his innocence in the crime he claims to be guilty of. You know who we haven't seen since her husband went off the deep end? Gilda Dent. In the, I guess, years since Harvey's attack, she's remarried and been widowed by another husband, David, and is now dating Carl, the killer, currently taunting the Batman. And Carl's victim, Anton, was the man who murdered Gilda's second husband. Carl avenged Gilda's beloved before falling for her himself. Because he was furious Carousel took Gilda's happiness away from her. Look at this bottom right panel. Hint, 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 hint. Batman's investigation hasn't turned up much, but what he knows is this. Ternion accused the crippled Carousel of the murder of Gilda's fella, and Carousel opened fire on his ass to shut him up. Carousel's crap aim was his downfall, as his bullet damaged the chandelier cord above, sending the fixture down to squish him to death. But Bruce knows that Ternion is somehow guilty, so he won't rest until he knows why. Batman sends out some feelers to ask around about the case, but one of his reliable informants, Mary Ann, asks the wrong questions. Batman tracks Mary Ann's attacker to find out why they wanted her silenced, and follows him all the way to Carl Ternion himself, who kills his own man for leading the Bat right to him. So now the Batman can just do him for this kill, can't he? But the Bat doesn't even get close. Carl sharpshoots the Bat rope apart and sets a filthy trap for the Caped Crusader. Suspiciously, Carl makes sure the Batman has a 50-50 shot at surviving a raging river of Gotham's waters. 50-50? Something about this guy seems strangely familiar. Batman barely survives this flood of filth, but Carl Ternion gets away clean. Carl's got one more stop to make tonight. The offices of famed plastic surgeon Dr. Eckhart, like the actor Aaron Eckhart. What a coincidence. Who did he play in that one movie again? Carl's plastics don't seem to be sticking, and he states he did all this for Gilda so that she'd be his wife. For a second time? Disappointed that his true face will soon shine through once again, Ternion kills the Doctor. Eckhart's body is the final clue the Batman needs. Double jeopardy indeed. Hey, the video got to 22 minutes. I was hoping to finish it at 22 minutes, but clearly not. Would have been a thematic. But anyway, a villain from Batman's past is about to return to threaten his future. Make sure you come back on August 11th for Twice Dies the Batman. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it now instead. No way. Two-Face is back. The story with double in the title and the bad guy who keeps mentioning multiples of two involved Two-Face all along. In the Two-Face Supervillain showcase. No way. Batman investigates both Eckhart's surgery and the coroner's office as a friggin' grenade comes through the window. What the hell? Didn't White Dragon do this once? Someone's desperate to destroy both the evidence and the Batman. The Dark Knight's quick thinking saves his skin, but his chances of investigating the case go up in smoke. But Bruce did get some answers. Anton Carousel never really existed. He was a fake identity taken after surgery by Dr. Eckhart. Someone was hiding behind the Carousel name. Let's review what we do know. Carl Ternion murdered Anton Carousel in retaliation for the killing of Gilda Dent's second husband. But what we don't know is why. Until now. Carl's plastic surgery fails completely, and though he escapes Gilda's eye, we finally see Carl's true face. Both of them! For you see, Carl Ternion was really that Jackal Hyde hoodlum himself. Two-Face. In Carousel's mansion, the Batman discovers the clues he was waiting for. Old newspaper clippings of Harvey Dent himself, and his bitter relationship with Boss Maroni. Listen, these issues don't mesh with what we saw before as Two-Face's origin. I understand that now. Oh well. Turns out in the old canon, Maroni was killed by Two-Face himself for revenge, not just gunned down in court. But what's that got to do with Carousel? Batman shares what he knows with Gilda, and together, the two pray they can come up with a way to help the man they both once admired. Everything Harvey has done has all been for Gilda, and now she needs him again as Boss Maroni, somehow still alive, attacks the widow, but Two-Face won't let the woman he loves get hurt. From Harvey's inner monologue, we can finally piece together the crime. When Two-Face last fought Maroni, the bullet he thought killed the gangster had only paralysed him. From there, he used Dr. Eckhart to shed his identity and become Carousel, and when he murdered Gilda's second husband, Dent found him and finished the job. And Harvey had indeed finished the job, because the man he now chases into the courthouse isn't Maroni. It's the Batman. How did the mask hide the ears? No wait, I don't wanna know. For like the fourth time this video, Harvey defeats the Bat, but this time, it was a trap to make Harvey see sense. Dent used to work in this very courthouse. He was a man of the law. He's fallen so far, but it's not too late, no matter what Two-Face believes. Batman even shows footage of that fateful day, hoping it'll rekindle the good man hidden behind the coin, but it only drives Harvey to sadness and rage. Harvey goes to flip the coin, but before Batman's fate can be decided, Gilda appears. She still loves Harvey, still wants to be with him, but if he tosses that coin and kills Batman, she'll never forgive him. Gilda offers Harvey a choice, one his coin can't make for him. Drop the gun, get help and restart their lives together, or kill the Batman and be a monster forever. Deep in his soul, Harvey and Two-Face battle for dominance, and the good man Harvey Dent comes out on top. Harvey surrenders, willing to get the help he so desperately needs, and the Batman closes the book on the case of Two-Face. I thought this story was boss. It had mystery, twists, and a hopeful ending that honestly could be the final Two-Face story, if comics allowed endings of course. I'm fuming that the annual ended up not lining up with the story and the issues, but that's the fault of the constant reinventions comic characters go through. Like I said, after this, the long Halloween replaces annual 14 as Dent's origin anyway, so ah well. I think Two-Face is really cool for his gimmick. He's always giving people a chance. It's a coin toss if he's gonna do good or do bad. He's not the most powerful or the smartest Batman baddie, but his past relationships with Gordon and Bruce make him particularly tragic. Like people say Mr. Freeze is sad, but Harvey only ever wanted to make sure justice got done and his life was ruined because of it. Can there ever be true justice in a city as corrupt as Gotham? I don't know, but the Batman will always be there to try.